Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to PWA's Lucha Week Spotlight interview. I am your host, Anthony Edwards, and now you can hear my interview with none other than the wrestler formerly known as the Funky Pharaoh, the Madjai himself, Amasis. For those of you who do not know who Amasis is, shame on you. He's the other half of the Osirian portal. He hails from the Chikara promotion, and he can cut a mean rug in the professional wrestling ring. I got a chance to sit down with Amasis and discuss with him his love of hip-hop. What went through his mind when he was forced to retire from professional wrestling, coming after the height of Osirian Portal's King of Trios semifinals appearance, as well as what it meant to see his tag team partner turn heel, and who can truthfully outdance him in the ring. So sit back, enjoy this interview, and go check out the Osirian Portal. First and foremost, what actually turned you onto the ways of Lucha Libre?
It was more so, it wasn't so much the ways of it, it was the art form. Because to me, that's what it is. It's an art. Just everything, and it was just like, of course, growing up, I was watching, a lot of the cruiserweights in WCW. You had Rey Mysterio Jr., you had Psychosis, La Parca, you had, Super Calo, Juventud Guerrero. All these guys that were just like literally defying gravity in a sense. And it was just so much cooler to me at the time than what WWE was putting out. Granted, I was watching both. I was one of those guys that was flipping back and forth between channels. But whenever the cruiserweights came on, that's when WCW got my attention. And it was always, I said, Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, all those guys, they pretty much influenced me to, in a sense, follow in their footsteps and start training in Lucha Libre.
I have to give you kudos because I think you're one of the only people that's ever mentioned Super Calo, and that was one of the few guys that...
He's one of those guys. But to be honest, he had a really, really cool gimmick to me, And then, the age of the WWE Network, Monday Night Snow is one of those things you can watch from the beginning. And I'm watching it, I'm like, oh man, I totally forgot about Super Calo. He was really good. He was actually really talented.
I agree with you. And I won't lie, his simplistic gimmick actually kind of spoke to me. Granted, 90s growing up watching it, I'm like, I got my own stupid, the sunglasses, that style hat and whatnot. It resonated for me for whatever reason based on the look, but then I was watching he's a pretty good wrestler, and then he just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, I actually dug it, the sunglasses and the tango, it was great, it was like a throwback, like you said, the 90s hip-hop era.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know what, I'm digging this guy. This guy's really cool. Really, really cool.
So I'm going to go ahead and, typical Lucha Libre aspect is the masked in public lifestyle. Do you practice that lifestyle?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, and I'm glad you used the word lifestyle because it's what Osirian and myself, we do. And every time, if we are in a restaurant, we are masked in public. If we are at a concert, we are masked in public. If we are taking the trash out, we are masked in public. We want to follow in the footsteps of our forefathers in Lucha Libre. Anytime you've seen guys like, Blue Demon Jr., Santo, all those guys, they never had their masks on in public. And we want to uphold that tradition. Because that's exactly what it is. It's a tradition, and you don't mess with tradition. And Osirian and I are firm believers in that.
Yeah, I mentioned to him, and I still laugh at this. I was always that guy during the Monday Night Wars. Go back to middle school, and it's like, did you watch Raw? Did you watch Nitro? Half the people watch Raw, half the people watch Nitro. A few people were in between. And then everyone's like, oh, did you see what Austin did? I'm just there like, anybody want to talk about, Juventud? Ray?
Yeah. It was a little bit of both for me. That's a little bit of both. We would, You know, it was just like we would talk Monday Night Raw, and then we would talk about Nitro, then we would go back to Monday Night Raw, and then we would go back to Monday Night Nitro. It was just like for us, we were split between both programs were pretty good.
Oh yeah, and
it's I hate that. Like, you know, it was really, really good. I feel like at the end of the day, WWE kept up with the times during that kept up with the times during that time period, excuse me, and kind of pushed the Wednesday envelope.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just kind of like, okay, this is a lot cooler than what WCW is doing. I'm digging this a lot. Like, as a kid, I felt like such a you know, a best boy watching Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like the stuff that they were doing was just, like I said, they were pushing the envelope like hard back then. You know, it was good stuff. It was good stuff all around.
Yeah. Well, you know, it was one of those things that I'm there watching it, you know, watching the luchadors, love the luchadors, and then I start reading up on the history and things like that. I'm like, okay, if that's the case, you know, let me look into it more. And so I keep watching, and that's when I was like, okay, the masked in public lifestyle. So for me, one of the biggest things that was so surreal was I was watching, you know, one of those things. Saturday comes along, I'm bored. It's, you know, I lived in Miami, so I'm flipping through the channels, and all of a sudden I catch Lucha Libre on like Univision at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And sure enough, one of the commercials right after that, and I don't know how many people saw it stateside, was I think it was Dos Cara, the Albert El Patron Dos Caras Jr. McDonald's commercial.
Okay.
Where he's like about to eat a Big Mac in McDonald's and everyone's just watching. Everyone's just like, you know, ready for it. They want to see the face. And then just stunned expressions as he's, you know, you go back to him and he's wiping his mouth and the Big Mac's gone.
I've never seen this commercial. I feel like I have to see this commercial.
It made me laugh because it worked on so many levels. I'm like, are you stunned that he ate that Big Mac that fast, or that he ate it through the mask? Because it's like, I'm more shocked that he downed that quickly.
Right.
So how did you get into pro wrestling?
Oh man, it's to be honest, I mean, it was that dream, you know. Something ever since I was a kid. I never wanted to do anything else. You know, it was just like, you know, when you're growing up, you know, everybody's asking you, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? You're like, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a police officer, I want to be a fireman. Me, I was just like, I want to be a professional wrestler. Bar none.
Yeah.
You know, at the age of 5, telling my school teachers this. And of course, you know, I got the little like sideways glances like, well, are you sure that's what you want to do? And I'm like, yeah, pretty much. Like that's all I ever wanted to do was be a professional wrestler. And it just stemmed back from the days of watching WWE Superstars Saturday afternoon.
Yeah.
When I came across that by accident. You know, you're watching the Saturday morning cartoons, and then right after 12 o'clock, Superstars comes on, and it was just, you're seeing these larger-than-life characters. Again, you know, you see, I'm watching Ultimate Warrior, I'm watching Macho Man, I'm watching Undertaker, I mean, Hulk Hogan. Like, these guys were just, like, on my TV screen, they look like real-life superheroes.
That's true.
And I'm just, like, looking at these guys in such amazement, and I thought to myself right then and there, at that exact moment, this is what I want to do.
I'm not gonna lie. One of the first, you know, I heard about Hogan and whatnot, and it's similar to how I eventually got into like, you know, metal music and whatnot. I was always told it's bad. Wrestling's stupid. Don't watch wrestling. You don't need to watch these people beat each other up. And then I accidentally came across like I think it was Hogan versus, I don't know. It was either like Hogan versus Gold. It was something weird. I think it was Goldust or something like that. Like when towards the end of Hogan's run, beginning of like the Attitude Era.
Okay. Before he went over and jump ship to WCW.
Yeah. Before all that, and then I remember the first wrestler I ever really got into was Bret Hart. I don't know if it was just because he was just that, here's this world of gimmicks and here's this one guy, like almost kind of like a normal regular guy fighting supervillains, because all the bad guys he faced were so extravagant, and here's this one clean cut guy using submission holds. And I had that moment when he turned on the U.S. I was like, tear shit. I'm like, I just sat there like, why am I even shedding a tear? I'm like, it's a program, and I'm trying to figure out what happened. And then sure enough, like when Eddie passed, it's like I started to cry. I'm like, why am I? It's like, I get it. Somebody passed. Usually it's, if it's a family member, you cry more. But here I am crying at the aspect that I just heard that Eddie died. And that's, that's kind of when you start to realize, what? Whatever anyone says to you, no matter what they say, it's like, that's it. Wrestling's ingrained into you.
Yes. Agreed.
And so who was your favorite wrestler?
Oh, man. It's funny. Back then, it was honestly, it wasn't one wrestler. It was a tag team.
Mm-hmm.
That was my favorite. It was the Rockers.
Okay.
Oh, big fan of the Rockers. Again, talking about, when Bret Hart turned on the United States and you shed a tear, that fateful Saturday afternoon watching, Brutus the Barber Beefcake's barbershop window.
Oh, yeah.
And at the end of the Rockers, I was crushed. I was crushed. You laugh. I kid you not. I was crushed. I remember just bawling my eyes out as a kid watching this. These are two guys that I love, and they were just so cool because, again, they were doing such cool moves that weren't being done in the early 90s. These guys are pushing the envelope, and I was just like, man, these guys are really cool, And it was like they did the multicolored streamers and the tights, and they just kind of the clean cut baby face look. I was just like, all right, these guys are cool to me. I like these guys a lot. And then, Shawn Michaels kicks Marty Jannetty right through the window. The water wants to come on. Scarred me for life.
Yeah, I only laugh because I know that feeling. Because I remember that Bret Hart, turning on the U.S.
Yeah.
What was your favorite match then? I'm assuming it had to do with the Rockers?
Oh, man, my favorite match, and I remember going back and watching it, because I remember seeing this match on TV, but I didn't go back and watch it until, I've seen it when I was younger, but I went back and watched it as I'm a lot older. It was told to watch it, and it was the Rockers against the Brainbusters.
Okay.
And that match was just fantastic. It was just the Brainbusters were just putting on a clinic on the Rockers, and Arn Anderson was just a monster. He was a beast the entire time, and it was just it really, even then, rewatching that match and watching the Rockers constantly climb from the bottom and just basically, just climbing constantly from getting their butts handed to them, I felt that inner kid come out again. It was just again, watching this when I was 5 years old, watching the Rockers on TV. That's definitely one of my favorite matches of theirs. That's just embedded in my mind.
Okay. Going back to Lucha Libre, what does Lucha Libre mean to you?
Again, I want to go back to this. I feel like I'm going to be using this word a lot during this interview. It's tradition. Lucha Libre is tradition. It's a way of life, to be honest. If you are a luchador, you live it, you breathe it, you eat it, you sleep it. It's who you are. And it's becoming, as far as myself being a luchador myself, it's something that I've embraced. And I don't want to go off on a huge tangent here, but the main thing that's what lucha means is tradition. Again, because, like I said, our forefathers put forth this before us, and they paved the way for, you know, guys like myself and guys like Ophidian, guys like Worker and, you know, guys like Jigsaw to flourish in this art form that is Lucha Libre.
Okay. And so touching on Lucha Libre and you being a luchador, what inspired the Funky Pharaoh?
Well, the thing is, I got to be honest. I mean, it's not just the name. I mean, I'm sure you've seen a couple of my videos.
Oh, I have.
I can't see, man. Like I can kind of run with the best of them.
Okay.
You know, so that definitely inspired that. He's just, you know, just my love of dancing, to be honest. I mean, that's very evident. Like, you know, just, you know, watching, like, you know, Michael Jackson and, you know, watching a lot of hip-hop dancing from, like in the 80s, you know, the breakdancing, the b-boy stages, that definitely kind of helped me.
Okay.
I don't want to say come up. It influenced me. I'll say that. It influenced me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take a quick moment here just to make this announcement because I did it during Ophidian when I discussed the most illegal move in wrestling history. There is a sequel to it. At least that's what it's been dubbed. And it is involving a huge battle royale or a huge like 8-man tag that was going on. You guys suddenly come on the screen. You're doing hypnosis. You're doing hypnosis to everyone in the back. And if I remember correctly, Ophidian even says, "I can't stop" or something like that. And then it turns into possibly the greatest thing I've ever seen, which was an actual wrestling dance-off. I mean, it's like, or a wrestle dance match going on right there, where it's like Michael Jackson's Beat It, or is it Bad? No, it was Beat It, right?
It was Beat It. It was definitely Beat It, yeah.
It was Beat It. I'm watching them, you know, trade moves like ACH is trading moves with, I forgot who. You know, they're doing random moves. AR Fox is throwing himself onto everyone outside. And then you guys come out with the Runaways. You do the whole, you know, fake knife fight. And then you guys just break it down. And I thought that was... I have so much fun showing people those videos. And I remember posting the most illegal move in wrestling history on my Facebook page. Having friends that, you know, they watched wrestling. They kind of don't want to acknowledge it as much. But, you know, they watch it and all of a sudden I'm getting messages like, what the hell was that? And all I could tell them is it's video gold. That's what that is. Just shut up and enjoy.
Hey, just leave it at that. It is the greatest you will ever see in your life. And you cannot unsee this.
No, you cannot, and I don't think anybody should want to unsee it.
You know what? I don't disagree with you. I mean, it's definitely something that, you know, Ophidian and myself and, you know, we are proud of.
Yeah.
You know, because it was just something, again, taking the love of, you know, pro wrestling and, you know, taking the love of music and then taking the love of dancing and putting it all together in this one giant pot and just, you know, having fun. And it, you know, it was great to see that, like, us having fun got out to the world.
Oh yeah, it exploded.
They were having fun with us. And enjoying us having fun.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like, I have to say that goes up there as far as one of possibly our, you know, or as a tag team, our biggest accomplishment. It's honestly something that most wrestlers can't say that they've done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we hold that video and, you know, the fact that it went viral and it went all over the place in high regard. Like, we don't sleep on that at all.
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot now. Which wrestler can outdance you?
Oh, man, what wrestler can outdance me? Can I be honest?
Yeah.
None of them.
Right.
Yeah, none of them. And if there's any wrestler out there that thinks they can, come see me. You know where I'm at. Come see me. We can do this. We can do this old school b-boy style. I'll bust out the cardboard box, and we can get it in.
So wait, putting you back on the spot there, I did see a video, and the video titled Chikara's Dance Party. You went toe-to-toe in a dance-off with, I think it was Frightmare. And Frightmare put on quite a show.
I know. That wasn't Frightmare. That was Hollow Wicked.
Hollow Wicked.
That's all I'm going to say. He got lucky.
Okay.
I wasn't feeling it that day. I wasn't feeling too funky that day. My leg hurt. It was just this whole big thing. I think I took my back a little bit. Yeah, he just got lucky. He got super lucky that day.
You didn't expect it, did you? You didn't expect him to just come out of nowhere with that.
You know what? I really didn't. And again, he got lucky.
Okay.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
All right. Well, continuing on with that then, what has been your favorite feud?
Oh, man, I mean, that's a no-brainer. It's definitely, it's got to be the one of Vinny and myself.
That was a pretty dark one. I like that one.
I mean, it was great because I felt as though it had that feud was just so great because it had that old school feel to it. It literally split the crowd in two. Some fans were cheering for me, and some fans were cheering for Osirian, and some fans were like, well, you guys just need to stop fighting and get back together.
I was one of those.
So people were on my Twitter, tagging us both. Hey, when are you guys going to stop fighting? And we're just going back and forth. On our Facebook pages, you're like, I wish you guys would get back together, say our life, and the one thing that I can say from that feud is that we definitely pulled out a lot of emotion from people. I remember going back watching when it all started, back to High Noon, and we're doing the segment, and and I'm watching, as Opinion misses me, and then he kicks me in the am I already, and he keeps it out the ring, and there was this one girl with tears in her eyes asking him why.
Wow.
Why? And she's crying. You'd have thought that, I don't know, her pet died, but it was her favorite tag team split. And I felt like not only was the emotion felt in that arena, but the fact that it was on pay-per-view, that was felt around the world. And it was just, it was fun. It was fun. And, leading up to me making my return back and, us having this feud and us even to going to having, Chikara's first ever sarcophagus match. For the end-all be-all, which will still be on my top list of favorite matches of all time.
Well, technically, it's a one-off now, right? It's only going to be a one-time sarcophagus match because you guys are evolving beyond that now.
Another one. You're not going to get another one, and it was again the first of its kind on the independent scene. And again, Opinion and myself pushed each other to our limit during that match, and I felt like we gave the crowd, the fan base, the Chikara something special that they'll remember for a very long time. Even to this day, fans will tweet at us and say man, that match is still my favorite match of all time. Um, to hear that, it's cool to hear that. Like, that, like, out of all the matches that they've seen in Chikara, and all the matches that they will see up till now, or even, like, in the near future, like, they will pinpoint that match and say that was my favorite. So that speaks a lot of volumes to me.
Now, touching on that feud, the lead up to it involved you actually you officially retired from pro wrestling, correct?
Correct.
Now that was stemming from injuries that occurred outside of the ring.
Correct.
What went through your mind during that time?
Man, what didn't go through my mind? My world shattered. It was heart wrenching because, again, going back to what I said earlier on, being a pro wrestler was everything to me. It was all I ever wanted to do. And it was just the fact that, like, something that I loved was taken from me for that brief time period was just, it was hard on me.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was just something that I worked so hard for. I worked so hard for it, and it was just like, and it's not so much like in ring. It's like even like out of the ring, like putting all the naysayers to bed. Saying that that I'll never be successful at this. I will never make it. And I will never accomplish anything with this. And all of that hard work was just like taken away in an instant. So it was rough. I mean, it was a rough 2 years. The doctors were like, look, man, you're not going to be able to do this again. And of course, that was just like a stab in the heart. Again, it's just like, it's like, revealing the truth about Santa Claus to your kid,
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember sitting in the doctor's office at the time and just like everything was just like a blur. Like I didn't feel like I just focused on all I heard was that. I didn't hear anything else the doctor said. I heard that. And it was just one of those things I just felt as though that I worked too daggone hard to give up. And, so I took my courage, I took my faith, and I took the support of the fans and the support of my family, my friends, it helped me get back. It gave me the strength to get back. And to even be able to say that, like, I came back from something like that, like, it means a lot. Like, I feel like I accomplished something. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a small task to take lightly. Even then, I had things, they'll message me, they'll email me, they'll Twitter DM or, Facebook message me or saying that, like, how much of an inspiration I was to them because, yeah, I could have, rolled over and died, per se, but, like, I chose not to give up, I fought for what I wanted, and what I wanted was my wrestling career back. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, that was a big step for you guys. Obviously, you had your rocker moment. You guys got to do your rockers moment. Unfortunately,
Exactly.
Yep.
You
got to do it, but it was under negative circumstances. But that being said, what were your feelings with Ophidian's transformation during that time? Because it quickly changed a lot. I mean, one thing that I love about Chikara is that everything interconnects.
I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand it. Like, it was, again, this was, my longtime friend. At the time, it was like I don't even know who you are anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what, at that time, it seemed that Ophidian was fighting some major demons at the time. And he's since then apologized for that to me. But it was just, like, I knew deep down inside, it wasn't him.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever was taking over him, whatever evil that was deep down inside, whatever evil that just like poisoned his heart, I knew deep down inside there was still some good in my friend. And it took me having to bury him in the sarcophagus for that good to come out. Whatever evil that was enveloped inside of him was gone. Just, like, all I did was just, put him in the sarcophagus. Just as if, just as our ancestors practiced,
Mm-hmm. So how did the
what's that?
So during that time, he took out Hirokon. And so I have to ask, you guys went from a tag team to having a third member for the King of Trios.
Yes.
How did having a third member affect the dynamic of the team?
It affected it greatly. I mean, we flourished. We were a well-oiled machine. Not saying that our tag team wasn't a well-oiled machine with just Ophidian and myself, but having that third member was just like icing on the cake, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, once we got Hirokon, we were unstoppable. Yeah, we were unstoppable. We made it to the semis of KOT. Like, it was great. Like, we were steamrolling. It was amazing. It was great because it was one of those things that, like, it was one of the, how can I say, members that the gods approved of. Because as you remember, we've had multiple team members.
Yeah, I was actually just about to ask you about them.
They didn't seem to work out. But it was just like the gods gave us Hirokon, and he fit. It was like you guys had to go through, the bad batch to get to something good.
Are you trying to tell me that the Egyptian mummy didn't work, or I'm sorry, the robotic mummy didn't work? Because he had a mean fro.
It was, Nakamami, he did his job. He was there.
He had a good hairdo.
And I just felt as though, again, like maybe it was just like the gods were like, here, give this guy a shot. Go into battle with him. It was just, it was just like, okay, all right, you guys got knocked out the first round with him. You guys didn't even really, you guys didn't really make it far in KOT. All right, we'll take him. All right, then we had, a Scorpion, who we, the big, he was our muscle. He was the muscle of the portal. And with him, things were going okay. And then suddenly things started to shift a little. Like, our muscle wasn't necessarily being the muscle anymore. In fact, he was being the punching bag. And we're like, wait, this is what the gods give us. You give us this big guy, and he's being made to be look like a fool. So it's like, okay, that didn't work out. Okay, what do we have to do to get a great partner? And again, the floodgates opened up, and the guy said, here's Hirokon. Take him. This is greatness here. Amasis, Ophidian, Hirokon. This is greatness here. And run with it. We did. So it was a blessing from the gods, a gift, if you will, that Hirokon was a part of our team for for a little bit.
Okay. So obviously, you deal with your injuries. Ophidian goes on this rampage to take all the masks, goes through his evolution. You come back no longer the funky pharaoh, but the Magi.
Mm-hmm.
What led to that?
It was. I felt as though to battle my friend, I had to become something darker, like he did.
Mm-hmm.
I had to embrace a certain darkness that I had in me. Because, I'm sorry, like, the Funky Pharaoh could not hold his own against what Ophidian became. There was no way, shape, or form that the Funky Pharaoh could, no pun intended, dance his way out of trouble with Ophidian. So, the gods retrained me. They retrained me in the art of becoming a Magi. They gave me the mark of the Magi. When they felt as though I was ready, they put me back out into the world and said, now, go release him. Release him of his demon. But by the time I got back, he was already consumed. I mean, he was unrecognizable. When I stared him in the face,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, of course I saw anger. Of course, I was angry, I was vengeful, But a part of me was just like, yeah, this is the guy that hurt me, but at the same point in time, there's something different about him.
Mm-hmm.
There's something so different about him, but I can't understand what it is. And I had to understand it. Just like in any form of battle, you have to understand your opponent to defeat your opponent. And I understood that Ophidian wasn't necessarily the Ophidian that we all knew and loved.
Yeah.
He's something else. He was something else. He was something darker. He was something meaner. He was something sinister.
Mm-hmm.
And once I understood that, and once I caught the grasp of it, and once I found the source of it, I had to pull that out of him.
Okay.
And release him from that evil.
Okay. Well, you know how the saying goes, giveth, taketh away. The gods gave you quite a few gifts, some that worked out, some that didn't. Then all of a sudden, they kind of took it away. They kind of, frowned a little bit upon you guys. And as of late, it seems that it's worn on you guys a lot. So much so that no longer are you performing the sacrament. And you guys actually, Ophidian actually posted a video that you guys are both involved in, looking into the lives of you guys adapting to current times, and essentially turning away from the gods. Trying, forgive me if I didn't catch on to the subtleties, or the nuances behind it. But it seems like it's no longer about the gods. You guys are trying to tread your own way now.
Well, the thing is, I mean, Ophidian, it's always going to be about the gods.
Mm-hmm.
At least for me. And I mean, again, I don't know what Ophidian's. I mean, I know what his personal feelings are, but I feel as though that, again, I'm feeling that, like the old saying goes, things happen for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's a bigger plan. I don't think Ophidian believes that. But I know that deep down in my heart, that somehow there's got to be some good coming from this. There just has to be some good coming from this. I'm thinking to myself, like, this is the calm. This is the storm that we'll have to get through to get to that calming point. To get to paradise, if you will. There just has to be some light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm holding on to that bit of hope that there is. Like, I know that they have a bigger plan for us. They just do. I'm not ready to give up on it yet.
Okay. Well, then what can everyone expect for the future of the portal?
To be honest, I mean, just to us to just continuously do our thing and, to reclaim our top spot as the best tag team in wrestling. To be honest, nothing but good things coming from the portal. Right now, we're kind of we're on opposite sides of the coin right now with the challenge of the Immortals.
Mm-hmm.
But when Ophidian and I come together, it's magic. I mean, I'm telling you something you guys already know. When the portal's back together, it's the greatest thing in the world.
I won't lie. I'd like to see the portal with Hurricane take another stab at King of Trios. I mean, I'm very interested in how King of Trios this year goes. With is the Battle Hive is involved, correct?
I'm not too sure. I mean, I haven't. They haven't said anything. I mean, maybe we are. Maybe we aren't. I don't know.
Okay. Do you want to be involved?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we have some great talent coming in. You got the Bullet Club. Like you said, you have Team AAA. You have, the BWO. And you already have some of the Challenge of the Immortals teams coming into it. So I can only naturally assume we're going to be involved. As to what culmination of the Battle Hive may be, I don't know. I may not even be in it. It may be my other three guys.
So for you, would it mean more if the Battle Hive is in the King of Trios this year and wins it, yourself and two other members of the Battle Hive, or would you rather at some point win it as part of the portal? Or is a win a win?
That's a very good one. I really got to think about that one. Why you stumped me there, buddy? You got me. I feel like if we had that opportunity, we're going to take it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to not give it my all because I'm not with Ophidian. That's like I know, like his team's already in there, but I know he's going to be gunning for that KOT title. I understand that. He wants to win King of Trios.
Mm-hmm.
Just as I would.
Okay.
To be honest, the more important thing, endeavor that Ophidian and I had is becoming the Campeones de Parejas one more time. I know that's the one main thing we have our eyes set on as a unit. When you got the portal together, we are focused on 3 points, and we are focused on getting those belts back around our waists.
Okay, so that I feel, that I want to see. So, but here's my other question to you is, how soon does Amasis want a shot at the singles title?
Well, I mean, this coming weekend, I have an opportunity to get my 3rd point towards title contention.
Mm-hmm.
If Amasis gets his 3 points, and Amasis can go for the Grand Championship, he's going for the Grand Championship.
So right now,
I know Ophidian is going to be supportive of that.
So right now, the main focus is, I mean, it's Amasis is there. Your focus is Amasis. Your focus is the Battle Hive, at least for this season. But more than anything, it's still the portal.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It was always the portal first, and then it was the Battle Hive, and now it's Amasis himself going for the grandest prize in Chikara. But at the end of the day, no matter where I go, no matter what I do, it always is going to come back to the Osirian portal.
Okay.
That's where my heart is.
Now, let me ask you something, and I asked this from a few other members of the roster. What are your feelings on Chikara and how it's expanding? I mean, you guys just opened a new Wrestle Factory. You guys got done doing possibly one of the most insane stunts in pro wrestling history with the Ashes of Chikara, which, as I've spoken to with Worker Ant, that was something that I don't think any other promotion would have the guts to try. So you guys took a stab in the dark You guys went blank for a while there. Lots of hints get dropped around social media, lots of YouTube videos and whatnot, and then you guys come back and all of a sudden you have what I can only assume is possibly one of the greatest like season. If this was a television program would be a season finale crossover event, you guys have the flood come in, and it's everyone from the past. I mean, what's next for Chikara? What do you want to see in Chikara?
I want to see it all. I want to see it all. I want to see us blast off to the Twilight Zone. And I feel like we can. I feel like Chikara is something special because we don't just give you wrestling. We give you something more.
Mm-hmm.
We give you emotion. We give you, we give you like, man, I can't even put it into words as to what Chikara gives its fans, but like I just know it's something special.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see that. You can see that in the Twitter feeds of our fans. You can see that, with a lot of it. Again, I'll personally see it when fans are saying these things to me, in person, or, seeing, the messages that I receive. We're acquiring new fans every single day. And we can only go up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no going back. We can only go up, and we can only get bigger. And Chikara as a whole has its sights set on some of the greatest things, and we are definitely that little bit that could.
Oh, most definitely.
We are definitely that little promotion that could. And for us to even remotely stick around for as long as we had and still keep going strong, we're just getting stronger. Like that's an accomplishment that most promotions don't even get to see, unfortunately. So it's a blessing to be a part of something so great that is Chikara.
Well, I mean, you guys, it's insane to watch Chikara because it's everything that everyone that likes to poke fun of all ages wrestling. It's like, oh, it's too kiddie. They don't even curse in Chikara. The fans won't even chant. Holy it's always holy poop. It's cheesy. It's a little cartoony to some people. But then you turn around and all those wrestling fans that talk the same smack, have to eat their words because you turn around and you see, amazing wrestling. I mean, there's a reason why Cesaro, formerly Claudio, is killing it. The man is a machine, and he was, it's one of those things. You guys are extremely talented. You guys, for all the historical wrestling marks, you guys bring in like King of Trios, BWO is coming in. Last year or 2 years ago, I think it was Flash Funk, or not Flash Funk, Too Cold Scorpio. He came in. You guys had X-Pac, formerly X-Pac in there. Sean Waltman, I should say. You guys branch out to everyone. You've included possibly one of my favorite promotions as well, the Kaiju Big Battle.
Yes.
You guys had, and then for the fans that are like, oh, I prefer, Japanese strong style wrestling, it's like all of a sudden you got Ibushi in there.
we definitely have a little something for everybody. The one thing about Chikara is we do not alienate anyone. Mm-hmm. You want to see strong style, you'll see strong style. You want to see lucha libre, you'll see lucha libre. You want to see European catch, you'll see European catch. You want to just laugh and have and just and have a great time? Well, you're gonna do that regardless when you come to a Chikara show.
I think that's the best part.
Absolutely. Again, it's just we are like I said. This is what again saying one more time that we give you more than wrestling.
Yeah.
It runs the gamut as many gifts that we give our fans. and our fans love us for that. You know, just for those few hours of the day that we can get our fans to forget all of their worldly problems and laugh, and just have a great time. That's good enough for me.
And I think it's brilliant how you guys include the fans. I mean, there's video online that made me laugh, which it was a tag team match involving Los Ice Creams. And there's one on Free Wrestling Day where they go and they kick at Dippin' Dots, and it's like, hey, they're like, it's a lie. Actually, one second, hold on. So anyway, going back to what I was saying, there's videos of you guys including the fans. There's videos like, just for two examples, Los Ice Creams, just because it was just random, kiddie humor. But they go on a Free Wrestling Day in Philly. They jump the guardrail. They go over to a Dippin' Dots vendor. They start kicking, fake kicking at the truck, saying it's a lie. It's all a lie. Even a part where there's a little kid there in the middle of a tag team match, and they're like, hey, he's wearing a Rey Mysterio mask, and they're like, Rey Mysterio, calling for him to come tag him.
Right, yeah. I mean, and again, it's like we want the crowd to get involved. Because again, it's like, it feels like, you don't see other promotions doing that. It's, you're on the opposite side of the guardrail, your fans. That's it. And I feel as though that's why I'm really happy in the sense that we don't have guardrails, in a sense, because it lets us get that much closer to our fans. It's more than a wrestling show. It's a wrestling experience. Some of the best things that I've seen is like emails from parents that were like, I've never been to a wrestling show a day in my life, and I brought my kid here, and I had a great time. I will be back.
That's awesome.
I mean, those are some of the best. Like, it's just, when, like, not even if it's not the parents' first time, it's the kid's first time. And they're just having fun, I remember myself, there was one of my matches back, a kid, was wearing my mask in the crowd while I was making my entrance. So when I picked him out of the crowd, I put him on camera for him. I put him on camera. So, this little kid is on Smart Art Video DVD. I get a message 2 days later from his father thanking me to do that, and he said, not only he's a big fan of yours, and he was like, that day, that was my son's birthday.
Oh, wow.
And he was like, and you pretty much gave him the best birthday present ever. And I was just like, those are the messages and the comments and the things that, those are the things I live for. This is like the stuff like that. This is why I do it. I don't do it for me. I do it for all of them. We do it for them. It's like we put ourselves through so much anguish and pain for our fans' entertainment, and we love every ounce of it. I literally am giving my blood, sweat, and tears to these people. Because it's just like, you're not just a customer to Chikara. You are members of the Chikara. The Chikara is a family. We don't just treat you like fans. Okay, you pay your money, you see the show, now get out. No, hang out and and talk to your favorite wrestlers. Get a couple pictures, get an autograph. Talk about the matches with them. We want you to come up to us and talk. We want you to enjoy. We want you to experience. And I feel like that's where us as a company, we flourish a lot over many.
I can definitely get behind that too. That's definitely one of the things that got me into Chikara, aside from The most illegal move in wrestling history.
Yes. I think that was a lot of they got a lot of people involved in Chikara after that video.
That's still your favorite video, right? That's still like your favorite mark right there.
Absolutely, still is. I mean, even to this day, like I get, I get messages all the time about it. When it's like, oh man, I just saw that video again on the Real TV channel, and I was just like, wow, it's great to see that. Excuse me, 3-4 years later, it's still making its rounds, and it's still just as awesome. And it was actually funny to me that I showed Osirian that it actually popped up on a mixed martial arts wrestling page.
Wow.
And they were like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And, you got parts of it, you got fans that are just like, oh, this is stupid, but you got to every fan that's out there saying, or to every comic, because they're not necessarily, wrestling fans, or, they're on the MMA page, for goodness sake. For every, oh, this is stupid comment, you have like 10 more, this is awesome. Where can I see more of these videos? Where can I see more of these people, And I've told them, like, look, go to this website. Go to this YouTube channel. Type this in, type that in, look at this up, look that up. If you like this, you're going to like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, and people enjoy it. Like, I've gotten feedback from people like, oh, wow, this is awesome. Like, I've never heard of it. I've never heard of this, this type of wrestling, because a lot of people out there, as big as independent wrestling has got, as big as it's gotten,
mm-hmm.
People still don't really know about it too much. They only know about WWE. That's it. They only know John Cena, Randy Orton, Daniel Bryan. That's it. They don't know about the indies. So when we tell them about it, so it was like when we were passing out flyers. I was at a couple weeks ago, I was out in Rhode Island for Wrestle Fan Fest. And I was passing out flyers for upcoming shows this weekend. And of course, these guys are here to see, Bill Goldberg. They're here to see, guys that did on TV, that's on TV, that they, that they grew up seeing. So they would come past our table like, wait, whoa, what is this? What's a Chikara? And I was like, whoa, this is what we do. Hey, we're going to be right up the road from you guys in a couple weeks. Come check this out. I got like 20 plus people saying they're coming, and they're bringing the entire family to check it out.
Nice.
Just based off of not necessarily seeing the product, but just even just having a conversation with me. Having a conversation with Icarus, having a conversation with the Devastation Corporation. They're like, wow, you guys look like, wow, you guys are all colorful. Like, what is this? I like it. Where can I see it? And it's just kind of like, well, hey, like I said, come on this date. We're going to be right up the road from where we are now. We're packing the place out. Come see it.
Okay. A little bit more personal things here. Now, being the former Funky Pharaoh and whatnot, are you a fan of hip hop?
I'm a big fan of hip hop. Yes.
Who are you a fan of?
Oh man, who am I not a fan of? Let me see. Love Wu-Tang Clan. Love it. Love them. Wu-Tang forever. I gotta be honest. I don't listen to a lot of today's hip hop. I don't. It's kind of bland to me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's no real substance to it. But I listen to a lot of the old school hip hop. I listen to a lot of Public Enemy. I listen to a lot of KRS-One. I listen to a lot of Mos Def. I listen to Talib Kweli. I listen to Childish Gambino. I like him.
Okay.
Osirian actually put me on to Childish Gambino. And it was like, he's like, oh man, you gotta listen to him. You know, you gotta listen to him. He's dope. And I'm like, man, I don't know. He's like, come on, they're sleeping on him. And I'm like, all right, I'll listen to him. And I was just like, why haven't I listened to this guy sooner? You know, he's just kind of like one of those like, I've only been telling you this since God knows how long. But yeah, I mean, like, I listen to a lot of mostly like indie underground hip hop. I'm a big fan of the British hip hop scene too.
Really?
Yes. Big fan of their hip hop. It's amazing. They call it grime music. It's really good. I mean, if you can, you know, look it up. I mean, there's some really good stuff. Their hip hop scene is popping over there.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
It's really good. Like, some of it is like really like throwback to like the old, like to like the '90s style. It's more about storytelling. It's more about, you know, it's more about substance in their lyrics. It's not just, hey, I have a million cars, and, you know, a million women. Like, I don't care about that. Like, tell me who you are. Why should I listen to you? Why should I care? You know. There's a lot of talented wrestlers that come out of the UK.
I won't lie, I agree with you. A lot of the hip hop that I enjoyed during the '90s and whatnot, you know, I got into a lot of the rap scene. You know, I got into DMX and at the time, you know, early Jay-Z.
Yes.
You know, a lot of that stuff. And then current hip hop, I'm kind of like, you know, whatever. But actually, I found myself.
A little fun fact, by the way. A little fun fact. Do you know who for the Chikara roster is a DMX fan?
Who?
Dasher Hatfield.
Really? That kind of threw me off a little bit.
Yes. Dasher Hatfield and I were one day at a show. We were rapping DMX. We were actually rapping Get At Me Dog. Yeah, I wish I had this on video. But yes, Dasher Hatfield and I were rapping Get At Me Dog by DMX. It was the greatest thing in the world. Big Dasher Hatfield and I became best friends at that moment.
I think the only thing that would have surprised me more is if you said it was Jervis Cottonbelly.
You know what? I'm sure Jervis Cottonbelly listens to a little hip hop. He's got a little swag in his step. Yeah, I gotta ask him. He's swagged out. I gotta ask him if he listens to hip hop.
One thing that I don't know if you've checked it out or not, but the current scene here, kind of underground, nerdcore. That's something that I got really into. I had a chance.
I know the nerdcore. Yes.
I had a chance to meet Richie Branson. That guy quickly became, you know, I helped do a shoot interview for him. I'm sorry?
No, okay. What was his name?
Richie Branson.
Okay, I gotta look him up.
He actually started, you know, as a joke. Well, not a joke, but a passion project of his. He wrote the song "Bring Back Toonami Bitches," and it spread. It quickly spread amongst, you know, there was an underground movement of Toonami faithful that were doing like podcasts about Toonami. A friend of mine was helping out on a few podcasts, and he randomly goes, his name is Jose, he goes and he wants to do Toonami Day. We're like, all right, you know, we all pulled together our DVDs and whatnot. We did like 9-hour sit down of movies and shows, or movies from shows based off of Toonami. And then he tells me he's doing an interview because apparently, and this was, you know, secretive at the time, Toonami was coming back, and they actually reached out to him, Richie, about using the song "Bring Back Toonami Bitches," and then they wanted him to record a new song, which is actually appropriately titled "Toonami Is Back, Bitches."
I have to hear these songs, and I didn't know that he's recording these songs for the network.
I think you and Ophidian would get a kick out of this because it's both, you know, nerdcore hip hop and a little bit of horror to it. He did he's got two EPs called the Ghosts and Goblins or Ghouls and Goblins EP,
Okay.
1 and 2.
Okay.
He has a song called 28. And it took me a while to realize, obviously the song's about him at 28 deciding to stop working at retail and pursue this dream of being a hip hop artist. But it took me a while to realize the song in the background was the theme song to 28 Days Later. And it, and
okay.
and it's one of those songs that I look back and I'm like, that is possibly one of the best songs for a horror movie ever. It's just, they got that beat to it.
Yes. So, and I like that when you hear a song and it's like, you're like, oh man, this is great. For instance, one of the guys over in the UK, his name is Getz. He does a song called Salute Me, yes?
I think I've actually heard of him.
Yeah?
Yeah, there have been a few times, I pop on Fuse before they started going all weird on me, but I used to pop on Fuse and just sit there and let it play. And there was always random things like, boom, here's, British hip hop artists. I'm like, huh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm listening to this song, Salute Me, and the one at the back, the song that he's rapping over, in the beginning, I'm listening to it, and I'm like, he's the sample more so specifically, and I'm like, I know this song from somewhere. What is it? And I'm listening to it, and I'm listening to it, and I'm listening to it, and it took me a month because it was racking my brain because it was one of my favorite songs by him. And I'm racking my brain. I'm like, what is this song that he sampled? And I remembered it, and I was like, oh my god, this is awesome. He sampled a piece from Killer Instinct.
Oh.
And it was Silver Wolf's song.
I love that theme song.
Yeah, so he sampled that, and it was just it was sped up, sped up a little bit to kind of give it that hip hop feel. And I was just like, oh man, this is great. This is great. I love when and it's just I was like, wow, he really sampled Killer Instinct, and it's just like, who does that? No one. No one but him. He's awesome. He's amazing. It's great.
So are you? I have to ask. Sometimes, a lot of times, are you a Biggie fan? Are you a Tupac fan? Were you a Biggie fan?
I was a fan of both, to be honest.
Okay.
I felt like Biggie got more airplay
than
Tupac did because I felt like because when Biggie really started making it mainstream, he was doing a lot of club hits.
Yeah.
So you were hearing a lot of club hits, so and it was making a lot of radio beats. Where Tupac was more so kind of he wasn't underground, but it was more so a lot of his music that he did was kind of yeah, we can't play this on the radio. You know what I mean? But what I really listened to, I didn't really get into Tupac until I started to get older. And I listened to him, and one of the things again, when I'm listening to hip hop, I listen to the actual beat and the music that they're using, and I listen to the word, I listen to their verbiage, I listen to what they have to say. And I'm thinking to myself all right, I'm listening to what he's saying, and I'm like, wow. Tupac was very intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
Very intelligent. His wordplay was fantastic. And I was just like, oh, man. And then it was his one-liners were good. I'm a big fan of one-liners. Mm-hmm. If I'm listening to a song and I'm listening to my earbuds and you just make me go, oh, man, that was dope. Yeah. But I'm just sitting there going oh, no, nasty. Did he just really say that? That was great. I like when he just sit there. You have a fan in me forever.
Well, since you are a fan of both, back, in referring to the Richie Branson and whatnot, 28 is on Ghosts and Goblins Volume 2, but on Volume 1, there's a bonus track. It's on my Spotify is how I got the chance to see it. But there's
Okay.
a bonus track with Mega Ran, who's a former English teacher, huge Mega Man nerd. He's now exploded because of that.
I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they
I
did.
have heard of him.
Okay. They did a song that I think you'd get a kick out of, where they sampled a section of one of Biggie's songs, where he constantly says Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis.
Yes.
The song is called Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and there's actually a part where Mega Ran, where Mega Ran tries to do his best to do like a straight up Biggie impression.
Huh.
It's possibly one of my favorite tracks I've ever heard.
I am highly intrigued by this, and I will look that up also. Definitely highly intrigued by that. Also, too, oh man, I can't believe I forgot. It would kill me. Big fan of Jedi Mind Tricks.
Jedi Mind Tricks, I've heard of them.
And Army of the Pharaohs. Big up to Vinny Paz. That's really good peoples. Have you seen our music video we've done with Army of the Pharaohs?
I did. I did.
Yes. So, they've been, that was cool. I can't believe I almost forgot. Hope Vinny doesn't hear this and kills me. Been a fan of those dudes for, years coming up. And, so getting the opportunity to do a music video with those guys was great. Again, it's just one of those things I can say that, it was one of the doors that pro wrestling has opened up for me. Like, hey, it's like I can say I've been in a music video. I can say I've been in an actual live action movie. It runs together as to how many things I've done because of pro wrestling. But yeah, Jedi Mind Tricks and Army of the Pharaohs, Vinny Paz, it's amazing lyricist, amazing. I'm also a big fan of theirs.
Very nice, very nice. Let me just to tack onto something you mentioned. What was the live action movie you were a part of?
The End of the Ashes, being a part of that.
Oh, Fall of the Ashes. That's true. It is out on DVD. I forgot it.
That, and I've got to do some other stuff, and I got my hand in some things. But that's going to be revealed at a later time. Okay,
well, I was about to ask.
Like I said, just being opportunity, just having these opportunities like it's given to me, it's great. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and let you have this time right now. Anything you want to plug?
I'm definitely going to plug the Chikara shows that is happening in New England this weekend. Saturday night we'll be in Connecticut, and Sunday afternoon we will be at Bet Music in Providence, Rhode Island. If you are in those areas, come check us out, because the only time this year we will be in the New England area. You miss us, you're in this boat. You're going to be upset, you're going to be sad, you're going to cry. And I'm going to probably cry with you. I'm going to plug my Twitter. You can talk to me on Twitter. I'm very responsible on that. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on my Facebook page. Just find me. It's Madjai Amasis. You shoot me a tweet. Hit me up with a DM. Hit me up with some hip hop that you think I'll like. Hit me up with anything. I talk about everything on there. From sports, video games, music, anything. And like I said, just keep a lookout for the portal, man. We're just gonna, we're getting back, taking the world by storm again. Okay. So just watch out for us.
Definitely. I won't lie. I'm right there. You miss a show, you're gonna cry. I missed you guys were in Orlando. You guys were here in Orlando last season, and I missed it due to I don't know what. Oh yeah, I was depressed as hell.
Exactly. So from experience, it's a sad thing when you miss a Chikara show.
I was so sad that I'm like, all right, season 15, are they coming back to Florida anywhere? Anywhere in Florida, I will make this damn trip. And it's like, no. And
well, but the thing about it is, you can always catch us, on DVD. Check us out on the Chikara. It's our streaming device where you can check up on all things at Chikara. And just look at our YouTube channel. You just catch up on everything. ChikaraPro.com, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Chikaratopia is much better than that other pro wrestling network. I ain't saying nothing. I'm saying nothing. All I'm saying is. All I'm saying is, I don't need to go through. I want to watch this pay-per-view. I'm going to watch this pay-per-view. I don't need to wait to go through all this other programming. I don't need Jerry Springer.
I dig it.